The Texans are now a 500 football team. Jason Bristol, Zack Tawatari here in the KHOE11 newsroom as we are breaking down this 16-13 win in Tennessee. As always, thank you for joining us. Before we ask for everybody's one word, what is your general takeaway from what we just saw?
Oh, not the word yet, just the takeaway.
Oh, well,
okay, no, we can do takeaway.
Okay.
Let's do takeaway. Makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah.
It's fitting of the way that the Texans have played this season. They end up sneaking away, 3-point win in Tennessee. I mean, I guess it's great because you have your backup quarterback in. You get another game until hopefully CJ is back on Thursday. But
possibly,
hopefully, for them. But a rather unimpressive display of offense yet again.
So once again, we're taking your one word. We have our whiteboards here. We have our markers, and we're ready to go. So give us one word which best describes what you saw as we await the news conference following this game. DeMeco Ryans will be speaking from Nashville momentarily. Both of us, or each of us, on the way over to this part of the newsroom, I said, I already have my word. And you said, I already have my word.
I do.
Do you want to go first?
Well, I'm always in trying to ever expand my Gen Z vocabulary.
Okay.
And our producer Lupita and I have been talking the last couple weeks about the way that the Texans have played so far this season, and coming to this game against a really not good Titans team, only scoring 16 points. This is a mid-off. That's what Gen Z, I believe, calls this kind of a game. It's two mid teams, mid being not great.
Well,
going up against each other.
Is Tennessee really mid?
You're right. They're probably below mid.
Below mid.
But the Texans also played below mid today. You only score 16 points against a team that's 1-8. You're going up against a rookie quarterback, albeit Cam Ward has a lot of talent. There's no question about it. But these are games that you should be winning convincingly, yet nothing the Texans have done this season has convinced me of anything.
All right, so you did Gen Z.
Gen Z, yeah.
I'm doing 50-year-old.
There we go, okay.
50-year-old dad. Underwhelming.
Okay, well, there you go.
Underwhelming.
This is
Greg says Texans finally found a QB. I don't know about that. I mean, they do have a QB. His name is CJ Stroud. Whether he's the right fit for this offense, this particular offense, I don't know. Justin weighing in. I just saw Justin's word. There it is. He also went with as in.
Yep.
Fix my D. Unchanged.
Yep.
Unchanged.
Unchanged, a good one. The Texans finding a QB, this is, I've heard this argument the last couple weeks that, Davis Mills has proven himself to be the Texans starter. I mean, there's a reason that he is the backup.
Yep.
And you see a lot of that in the ways that the Texans call plays, the way that they execute their offense. I mean, he completed 26 passes today, 26 of 41. This was the quote, end quote, death by 1,000 cuts, even though you scored 16 points out of those 1,000 cuts. The math doesn't seem great on that to me. But, Davis Mills, you're just not able to do as much with him. And in the long term, it's very hard for me to see him being a starting quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he tried it and he wasn't. So,
Granted, there was a much different supporting cast during that time. Much different. But Justin weighing in and says it was a competition on who can get the most penalties. Well, Justin, newsflash. They ended in a tie. It was 9 penalties for... No, they didn't. I'm sorry. I misread this. I'm sorry. It was the Titans with 9 penalties. It was the Texans with 5. My 50-year-old eyes failing me there because when I looked quickly, I thought it said I thought it was 9 and 9. So yes, you are exactly right.
I think what's scary about this game, if you're a Texans fan, is that it was a very even game with a not good team.
Yeah.
And that should tell you something about the way that the Texans have been executing offensively. I mean, you look at the time of possession, it's 31-28. I mean, pretty close, right? The Texans did outpass the Titans 240 yards to 171, but look at the rushing again. 75 yards on the ground.
Against that defense.
It's not good. It's not good.
Dustin says the Texans need a whole new offensive line, which is funny because we said that last year, and this is what you're left with.
And last week, and the week before that, probably.
Justin also said, well, CJ blew the Titans out when he played them, so that's not saying much about Mills. I would agree with that. I looked it up. It really wasn't that hard to look up because it's still fresh in my mind. The Texans' total time against the Titans this season, 5 quarters in which they have failed to score a touchdown. 3 quarters in the last game and now 2 quarters in this game.
That is a very fitting statistic, and it's emblematic of what they've been doing offensively or not been doing offensively so far this season, really, with the exception of a few games.
Why don't you take a few more of these comments, and I'll be over here for a second.
Let's look at it. Okay, so Justin, again here, we've got Justin saying, still a struggle to operate in the red zone. Yes, and you hit the nail on the head. This is something we've been talking about the last couple weeks on Sports Extra, right? When the Texans get into these shorter yardage situations, it seems to make things more difficult for them, almost as if they've got less room to operate. And because of that, for some reason, they struggle to execute, although you would think it would be easier given that you have less yards to have to acquire, essentially. But they have a real problem getting over the goal line, as you could see by a 1 touchdown again against the Tennessee Titans.
Listen, if Cam Ward hits a couple of those long pass plays, this may be a different game. Also, the Texans' heralded defense, listen, the Titans had, and I listened to the Titans broadcast on the way in, the radio broadcast, they had a lot of third and mids, or third and reasonable, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and they just could not convert. The Texans were 4 of 13 on 3rd down. Tennessee was 6 of 15. This is a championship level defense with a junior varsity offense, and it's what we've seen all season, and I don't anticipate that it's going to change anytime soon. That's just the way it is.
And here's the thing. The Titans are supposed to be bad. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be a team that's in a rebuild, a team that's struggling. You know, they have weeks like this maybe where they stay in games and they compete, and you take these little steps throughout the season until eventually you start to string whole games together and then wins together. The Texans are supposed to be win right now.
Yep.
And I feel like the people who are easy on them and just happy with seeing a win aren't really thinking about where this team is supposed to be. Like, when you play against better teams, you're not winning this game. You're getting blown out if you play like this.
I didn't even look to see where the Tennessee defense was ranked coming into this game in rushing defense.
That's a good question.
You couldn't run against Tennessee.
One thing I want to know from the audience is, when you watch these games, are they entertaining to watch when you're watching your team score 1 touchdown and kick 3 field goals consistently every week? I mean, this it's tough to watch, this brand of football.
Titans are bottom 3rd in the NFL in rushing defense. Bottom 3rd.
Yeah.
And you ended up, now granted, that last drive certainly, I don't want to say skewed things, because your leading rusher, Woody Marks, had 44 yards rushing on 18 carries, and that is not good. Not good. But this is what we've come to expect. It's 2.4 yards a carry. 2.4 yards a carry. The star of this game was Nico Collins, without a doubt. 10 targets, 9 catches, 92 yards.
Thank goodness for Nico.
Thank goodness for Nico. It's been that kind of
Dustin.
Of season. Let's see. Catch up. Justin says still a struggle to operate in the red zone.
Right.
Dustin says, I said the same thing last year. We have been needing a new offensive line and an OC. Well, you got both. and this is what you have now.
Yeah.
KJ says this was a trap game that we won. Titans can still put up points and shouldn't be underestimated. I agree that this was a trap game. I know our friend Landry Locker over on SNL Texans Talk was saying this all week. This was a trap game. This was a trap game. But I would argue that the way the Texans operate offensively, this is what we've seen all season. So, yes, I agree from the sense of it could have been a trap game, or it is a trap game, but you're going to be pretty much in close one-score games regardless, given the offense you have and the defense you have.
Not much has changed about this team each week, whether they win or lose. How many points they score, how they operate offensively, with the exception of a couple games, maybe the Baltimore game, and then, of course, last week against Jacksonville. Not much has really changed about this team, whether they've won or lost. They win by very little and often, lose by very little in low-scoring games, but in either instance, they're still low scoring, and that's kind of the point.
Justin also adding it took the Texans several games to realize they need to utilize Woody Marks more in the run and passing game. I question a lot of their player evaluations. Jalen Noel. Tommy Togiai, we heard so much about Tommy Togiai in the preseason, right? Hardest working guy, productive. Granted, I know it's a different animal with the defense because for the most part this defense is pretty stacked. But he has seen a lot more time as the season has moved on. Dustin saying the Texans give me high blood pressure watching them, without a doubt. Rick says Mills 2-0. He's done his job as the backup quarterback this season, without a doubt.
You're right.
Without a doubt.
There's no question about that.
Now, if you're watching on Facebook, we are taking your one word to describe what you saw today. I said underwhelming. Justin said unchanged. Mid-off, and we of course are taking your words as well. DeMeco Ryans has just finished up at the podium, so we will try and get that here in a few seconds. But when you're looking at some of these stats, it was the final score does represent the game.
It makes a lot of sense when you look at the stats. I mean, I keep going back to this 75 yards rushing.
Dustin has a word.
Another good one from Dustin. I just dropped the cap, but I'll get it later. That's okay. Dustin saying lucky.
Yep.
Lucky. Yes, lucky is right. Again, just like Jason said, if Cam Ward had made a couple more plays, this game probably ends up being at least that the Texans have to score a touchdown on that final drive, which they were lucky, again, back to Dustin's point, that they only had to kick a field goal in that instance. One of the only bright spots, I will say, other than the fact that they won this game, was that on that last drive, they did do a very good job of executing what they needed to execute. They completed some, shorter passes to Dalton Schultz, to Nico, and then they were able to create a push at the line to be able to get Woody Marks, who was able to get Woody Marks some space, who was able to get them into field goal range. I appreciate the fact that they were able to do that at the end of the game. It's just, I don't know why they consistently put themselves in these positions, right? Good teams do what they are supposed to do in a lot of instances. And it's not about style points. It's just more like what is actually sustainable for winning. You can't sustainably win games scoring 16 points in the NFL.
Well, it's interesting you say good teams do what did you say about what they're supposed
to do?
Well, what has DeMeco Ryans said? He said it at least twice this season. One time, the players need to listen to us or do what we're saying. And then last Monday, this past Monday, he mentioned about how he pleads with, that was his exact word in some variation. He pleads with them to do what is part of the game plan or being taught or however you want to phrase it. So right there, that tells you that either A, this team is not talented enough, or they're not listening, or they're not coachable.
Focus.
Focus.
Right? Focus. That's what we hear. Focus and execution, the two words that we hear. And 10 games in, it looks like the same team to me that it did week 1.
Dustin says, I love going to the games to watch them play. Hopefully I will have the money to go watch them play the Bills. Of course, that game is Thursday. And Buffalo fans travel. I used to live in Buffalo. I worked in Buffalo. It's one of the great cities in the NFL, and those fans travel. KJ says, Fluke missed field goal in the first half. Otherwise, they could run the clock. The Texans play up, down to our opponents. There is, I think,
There's some truth to that.
Some truth to that, but I also believe that when you look at the wins this season, they've been against backup quarterbacks or teams that aren't very good for the most part.
Super depleted, like with the 49ers. I'm looking at the scores, right, from all 10 games so far, since we're at this kind of benchmark and the Texans are at 500. They've only scored over 20 points 4 times. 4 times in 10 games.
I have to go counting. I was looking at the Texans obviously having scored 0 touchdowns in 5 quarters against the Tennessee Titans. I was going to be looking to see how often the Texans, how many quarters this year have they gone scoreless? And then I was going to see and rank that with the rest of the AFC South.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I would imagine it's quite a bit. There's quite a few. It's got to be at least 80%, maybe around 80%. I don't know.
80% of the quarters haven't scored?
Well, actually scored
a touchdown.
Field goal, yes. Kaimi has definitely scored a lot of the points for the Texans this season thus far. It's interesting to think what's going to happen next week with Buffalo, right? Because
short week.
It's a short week.
It's a home game. And Buffalo has been
up and down.
Mid-off at times as well.
They've been mid-off, although they did pull it out
today
they
beat
against
a good
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, looking at some of these other scores, the one that really jumps out to me is the Jaguars and Chargers. Look at that score.
All I know is when I look at the Bills, there's a lot of 3s and 4s in front of their scores.
Chargers were up 35-6, I believe.
Okay,
and that's not good for the Texans' playoff hopes because you still have a game against the Chargers.
No, it is not. Let's see.
All right, here we go. Let's put this in here and get the rest of DeMeco Ryans.
Okay, let's look at this score. We are looking at Jags Chargers 35-6. Yeah, wow. Wow.
We're going to hear from DeMeco Ryans here momentarily.
6-4 Jacksonville team. Yeah, I think in terms of standings, the Texans really relying on the Jags to not have a good week, especially after that huge deflating loss for them last week with Houston, coming back, that historic win for them in the fourth quarter.
They need a lot of help. They need to keep winning, obviously, but they're going to need some help.
They need a lot of help.
If you continue to win, then you give yourself a chance. But
they're also coming into the teeth of their schedule, right? So this is where things get real. I mean, we've got, let's see. We've got on this schedule, we've got the Bills, then a very good Colts team, obviously the Chiefs, good Cardinals team. They really don't get
good Cardinals team.
They're not good, but
they've been playing better.
They can play well. We've seen signs of life from them. Let's say that.
With Brissett at quarterback, they've been better.
They really don't get a break for the next 3 weeks. If you want to say that, they're playing certainly not the same caliber of team in the Cardinals in a month. But for this next month, this is really where you end up finding out whether or not they even have an opportunity to be in the conversation for playoffs. Because if you lose these next 3 games, obviously you're not going to make the playoffs. Now, if you can win 2 of 3, that's probably what they're hoping to do. But realistically, you're playing 3 high-scoring teams, and you are not that.
More comments here. KJ says, thanks for reading my 2 cents. Have a good day. I'll take the win. Hey, that's what we do here. We encourage 2 cents. We
love 2 cents.
We love 2 cents. We'll take 3, 4, 5, 6 cents as well. Also, Justin says, look like CJ may not come back for the Bills game. Certainly speculation as well.
We don't know.
We shall know obviously more in the next 24 to 48 hours. Dustin says these penalties are messing us up big time. Yes. Justin also said they had a stat in the game that said teams that are 5-5 have a 31% chance to make the playoffs historically. I believe that. I didn't see that graphic because driving in and working on some other things. I believe that. I believe that without a doubt.
I would definitely believe that because usually for NFL teams, it's pretty hard to get hot between weeks 10 and 13. That's kind of in the grind.
It's a week-to-week league. It's a week-to-week league.
It's kind of in the grind.
No,
of
you're
your
right.
schedule,
No, you're right. It's hard. It's hard.
It's really hard to get yourself up and get hot, for those 4 weeks. So, I would say that playoff teams usually start out better, cool off a little bit, and then heat up again towards the end of the season. The Texans are trying to start out ice cold and heat up, lose a little momentum, and then heat back up again. So they're really going to need, as DeMeco says, they're really going to need to have that focus this week, especially in practice, with it being such a short week and having that turnaround to play Josh Allen and the Bills.
All right, we are waiting for DeMeco Ryans for our video to upload. It should happen here in the next 10 to 15 seconds to hear what DeMeco Ryans had to say. Dustin says y'all have a great day. It was nice talking with the both of you. Right back at you. Right back at you. No. So, again, DeMeco Ryans, my guess is he will say.
Let's predict.
We have to do our prediction. That's how you finished. Today we finished.
Okay.
We finished.
Listen, it's hard to win a game in the NFL.
It's hard to win a game in the NFL.
I don't care what it looks like.
Yep.
I don't care what it looks like.
It's hard to finish. Proud of the offense, the way they bounced back after not really doing much on the scoreboard. That's how you bounce back and you forget about what you did in the first 30 minutes or 25 minutes.
Every game's different when he'll be asked about whether or not the rushing attack struggled and if they're consistently missing something that's making it hard for them to run the ball. Every game is different, yet also very similar at the same time.
For us, it's the same. All right, Lupita, do we have that ready to go? All right, let's listen to DeMeco Ryans.
I'd like to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. What a win for us. I'm proud of our guys for finding a way to win. Last week, we had to come back and win a game. We were down a lot, and this week again, we put ourselves in a hole, but, man, we had a great 2-minute drive. So I'm just proud of the way we're finishing. We weren't finishing games really good to start the season, but how we're finishing games now and finishing with the win, that's all that matters. I'm proud of our guys for that.
DeMeco, what do you think particularly of the job that Mills did on that drive? 3rd and 16 to come up with a play to Nico maybe.
Davis did a great job all day of really protecting the football, making great decisions. And, no play bigger than him connecting with Nico there when we needed it most. A 2-minute drive, that was such a huge play for us. And Nico and Davis, that connection really took off in the second half, which we needed. We needed a spark. We started getting the ball to Nico, and we saw he made play after play after play. So did an outstanding job, putting us in position there to make that field goal a lot easier.
What are you thinking in that moment when Nico kept winning the first one, Mills throws that ball, and when Nico keeps his feet in?
As calm as can be, nice and easy. Great, know they're gonna make the play. It was you just trust your guys, right? And that's what Davis has shown. Davis keeps me calm because he's so calm in the moment. But who we're going to with the football matters. And when Nico's out there, he's getting targeted. I think for the most time, when he gets targeted, he comes down with the football.
Speaking of clutch, Coach, how clutch was it for Matt Wright to come through, a guy that's been with you all only 2 weeks, but one of the biggest kicks of the season?
Yeah, it was huge for Matt to step in and make that kick for us. He's been great for us since he's been here the past 2 weeks. We needed him most to close the game out. He did an outstanding job. Can't give credit to him without Brinkman and Tommy doing a great job with the snap, with the hold, the protection, everybody, all 11 guys working together, and Matt kicking it through to get us a victory.
When you look at some of the defensive plays, in particular Will, he's made these kind of plays all year. For him to do it in this kind of thing, you got to have the scheme.
Yeah, Will is a dynamic playmaker for us, and that's what we need in the game. Like, it's about the players making plays, and our playmakers showed up, and Will is definitely one of those guys. For him to take the ball, to get us in a short field right there is something we've been harping on and talking about, and Will comes up with another sack, forced fumble recovery. Huge play for us.
You mentioned being able to finish 49ers lose a game, last 2 games. What do you feel like it took to get to that point, to be able to learn how to finish games?
Yeah, it's really just about executing in the moment, right? Remaining calm and whatever it takes to close out the game, like being diligent and doing your job the right way.
Another game where you've seen Davis even kill from first quarter to the fourth quarter, even on that last drive. Did his emotions change any?
His emotions never change, which is great. I love that about Davis, and I think his calm and his demeanor really gives everybody. He has that quiet confidence about him. Like, Davis knows what he's doing. He's a competitor deep down inside, and he wants to make those plays. And our entire sideline, our team feels that from Davis. We feel his confidence when he's out there, knowing that he's gonna go to the right spot with the football and make a play.
Even though the defense did give up a touch at the end, but throughout the majority of the game, they played pretty well. What has allowed this defense week in and week out to continue to play at such a high level?
Yeah, the guys are playing together. Thought we did a good job on third down early on, and later in the game we let some third downs get out that are unacceptable. So I feel like we can still finish better. Even there at the end, we can't allow them to get in the touchdown and drive down the field. We allow 2 big penalties, right? We allow the quarterback to escape the pocket again. Like, we got to do a better job of not allowing them to be in that position.
What does it say about your squad that you don't have CJ, but you can still go get a big win like this, get to 500?
Yeah, it's team football, and that's what we're about. My number one rule is just a team-first mentality. Everything that we do is never about one guy. It's going to be collectively, coaches, players, staff, everybody working together, and that's what we have here with the Texans. Our support staff is outstanding. Our coaching staff is doing a great job, and our players, they're the ones who step up and make the plays we need to make to put us in position to win these games. So can't thank those guys enough for the grit that they've shown and that will to finish.
How do you like how you had obviously switched the offensive line combination a little bit? How did you like how that group performed?
Yeah, we'll look at the film and see how we looked on the offensive line. But, again, we felt like our best 5 guys had to go out there and play, and for the most part, felt like we held up well.
Over these last 2 weeks, you all have been able to win the way that you are. How much confidence did that give you going into this Thursday night matchup against Buffalo? And I know you take it game by game, and you're just going to enjoy this one today, but Buffalo's coming.
It's always good to go in feeling with that great feeling of coming off a win, right, and understanding what it took to win those games. Like, you just keep plugging along, and when Thursday comes, whatever it takes, we know it's going to be a great battle versus a really great Buffalo team. So whatever we have to do to win a game, that's all that matters.
The message about depth, because you never know when you might need it in any team sport, but when you see what your team, with guys filling in, like Davis and others, what does that mean to you, kind of the depth of the team?
Yeah, again, it's all about the team, and guys have to take advantage of their opportunities. It really doesn't matter, like, when your name is called. You just got to be ready when it's called, because here you get an opportunity. You never know what can happen. So are you ready? Are you in that moment? Are you ready to seize the moment and not look back? So I'm proud of all of our guys, all the depth that we have from guys who are on the practice squad being called up and counted on to play meaningful snaps in the game. I thought all the guys did a really nice job.
You guys won. Obviously, you guys started 0-3, but since then, you guys are 5-2. What's, from your perspective, been the biggest reason why you guys have been able to kind of turn things around and get back to where you guys are now?
For us to turn it around, it's just about being laser focused, like focus on the task in front of you. Can't do anything about how we started, but again, it's the mentality about our season, about each game. It's all about how you finish. And if you finish the right way, you're going to be in a good spot. But it's just remaining focused on the task and the target in front of you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
You guys can just come in.
And there you have it. There is DeMeco Ryans following the 16-13 win. Let's see. He mentioned finishing. You put a check.
Finishing, yeah.
He also mentioned about Davis Mills, that calm presence that he brings, which is certainly well received without a doubt.
Yeah. Davis does a great job of staying even-keeled.
Mm-hmm.
He also mentioned the look at the tape when he was asked about the offensive line, because it's a continuing topic every week.
Also, I believe there was a question at the end about reaching 5-5. I believe He mentioned great job by the coaches.
Everyone
Everyone
on the staff,
support staff.
I
think one could argue if it was truly a great job by the coaches, you wouldn't be 5-5.
Yeah, not with this roster.
But
that's not
they
not
are
what
3
you
and
expect.
they are 3-2 in their last 5 games.
They are.
Which is kind of, is it mid-off or no? It's a little bit better than mid-off.
It's a little bit better than mid-off. It's like decent.
Okay.
Decent.
Also, he mentioned about the quarterback escaping at the end, and we have seen a lot of that against this defense at the end of games. That has been a problem.
I wonder sometimes you see the ability that like Will Anderson has, and he causes the strip sack and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just wonder if this defense is sometimes trying to make the big play as opposed to make the, just the play that they need to make.
I agree.
It seems like they're kind of trying to hit the home run.
Well, think of it though, especially when think of what you've got on the other side of your team. An offense
that's
that
fair.
can't score points. So, of course, I think you're going to want to go for home run plays.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, this offense has trouble scoring. And that puts pressure on this defense. We say it all the time.
It puts a lot of pressure on them. It's pretty amazing what this defense has been able to do this season. I mean, given the amount of time that they've had to be on the field, generally speaking, I feel like the Texans lose the time of possession battle often, but because that defense is so stout, they're able to give them more opportunities, give that offense more opportunities, and when you score 16 points, you need every opportunity you can get because you're going to need every field goal you can get because they're not scoring touchdowns.
No. One last comment from Justin. You never know. They might beat the Bills. Of course, the Bills lost against Miami. I agree. I think that this team can beat the Bills. I don't know what makes me think that. I know what makes me think that.
I think they could.
Defense, home cooking, home crowd, and a Bills team that's also been up in the air.
Short week. I mean, and if you think about it, if CJ is to come back on Thursday, which they hope that he will, I mean, who knows? But I'm just saying, if he does, there's some rest there. You could argue
there is, but you could argue on the flip side, rust.
I mean,
and then you've got a guy who seems to be operating the offense maybe between the 20s.
1,000 cuts, man. He is cutting it up.
All right. That's the story here from the KHOU11 newsroom. For Zack Tawatari, I'm Jason Bristol. Once again, your final: Houston Texans 16, Tennessee 13, as the Texans improve to 5-5. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here.